This is the Forgiven Soldier radio show.
Strangers become your brothers. They got your six when it's back against that wall. And you will never have another who care for you when times get rough. That's a brother. For you when times got tough, that's a brother.
And now, your host, Brian Basham.
All right, welcome in. This is Brian with the Forgiven Soldier radio show. Today I got some special guests. Well, y'all don't really call yourself a nonprofit, right? No. It's an organization.
We kind of jokingly say we're a non-entity because all we are is the conduit.
That's amazing. Yeah. But I have Kyle and Will with 10,000 Reasons. Welcome, guys. I appreciate you being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is I found out about you guys. I read the Owensboro Times like everybody else, and I was like, "What's this?" So I read it, and I was like, "Man, that's a cool idea." And then, luckily, my nonprofit got nominated without even knowing it. So I was like, "Man, this is even better." So tell everybody what it is and how it got started. And
so I guess it's been 6 to 8 months ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Chris Murphy, he's one of our buddies. We met through another kind of thing called BNI, which is a business networking deal here in Owensboro. And he had talked to Kyle and said he saw this thing in Evansville. I don't know. Remember what it was called, Kyle?
I think in Evansville they call it like 100 Guys Who Care.
Yeah. So he saw it, went to like 2 or 3 meetings, and thought to himself, I can do this here. We can do this in Owensboro, but I'm going to need some help. So he talked to Kyle, and then Kyle immediately kind of called me or talked to me about it because we're friends. We hang out, and was like, hey, this thing, Chris is doing this thing. You may want to check into it. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, Chris had called me and said, hey, I'm starting this thing. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess you must talk to Kyle. He goes, no, I didn't talk to Kyle about you, but I immediately thought about you. And, I was immediately on board whenever he told me the concept of it's 100 guys, or at least 100 guys, who brings $100, and they have 3 nonprofits who are voted on by the 100 men. Of course, this first one we couldn't do that because we didn't have 100 guys show up yet. Mm-hmm. So we all met and just kind of brainstormed, like just throw out three nonprofits out there, and that first 3 were done out there was what we got. So
yeah. Well, and I think it's an awesome idea. I mean, because even if you go in and you're like wanting to vote for this certain nonprofit and they don't get that many votes, your money still goes to a great organization.
Yeah, and that's something that I've kind of shared, with folks that are planning to come, and especially if they're coming because they really are supporting one nonprofit. And I'm like, and I get that, and that's what we would encourage, of course. But, I'm like, the worst case scenario is your money goes to another well-deserving nonprofit. And but then the other great thing is for the nonprofits, it's great exposure and an opportunity to get in front of people in the community and kind of share their mission and what they're doing. And,
for sure.
And so, that's the other thing I've kind of talked to the nonprofits about is, obviously grand prizes you win, but even if you don't, where else do you get an opportunity to get in front of a big group like that and really share what you're doing and the impact you're making in the community and, to get others, kind of behind what you're doing.
Well, and here's another benefit. So as having a nonprofit, like you get to be introduced to other nonprofits that you can partner with help.
Yeah, that's a great
and I said it, I told you, I've told everybody, even if we win, I still want to partner with these. Yeah. Because Beverly's Hearty Slice, amazing mission.
They are.
And it really, it doesn't have anything to do with veterans, but it does have to do with community, and that's kind of what we're looking for. And then My Sister's Keeper, obviously, is it's a need. So
another cool thing too that I went to with Greg, who's another one of the members, with Chris too, the Evansville last meeting, and afterwards, somebody came up to one of the nonprofits who didn't win and said, "Hey, I really am struck by how great your nonprofit is. I want to write you a check." Mm-hmm. So that guy wrote this lady a check. I don't know what the amount was, but still, you get the exposure out there, and you might get some extra funding help that you weren't used to having. So it's just all around a great thing to help out the community and get your name out there.
For sure. So what do y'all do for for your work, I guess.
So I own an office furniture company. It's called Office Furniture Solutions. We're based out of Madisonville, but 90% of my business is here in Owensboro.
Yeah.
I live here in Owensboro, have past 22 years. I'm married to my wife, Amanda, who is she works for Davis County School System. My oldest daughter goes to Apollo High School. She's a senior. And then I have a sophomore who goes to Catholic High School. She's on the cheer squad there. So
She goes to a rival school?
Yeah, it's crazy. We let them choose what they wanted to do.
Right.
And they're polar opposites. And it works well, and they get along great. They just go to different schools. It's just nuts, but it's worked for us and turned out to be really good kids, So
yeah,
we're very invested in the community. Along with Kyle, I've been a part of many boards. Fellowship of Christian Athletes is one I'm on. I just rolled off of.
So we know a lot of the same people then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jeff Moran and
Ron Williams.
Yeah, Ron's a good dude. And so
he's all right.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I love you, Ron.
So so when this opportunity came about, I just decided I wanted to put all my eggs in one basket and really focus on this this board and this mission. So
okay.
Yeah. A lot of people from the community may know me as the owner of Gorman Recruiting and the Employer Blueprint. We do recruiting and business coaching. But then a couple of years ago, I also came on board as the Chief Operating Officer for Lawton Insurance. Mm-hmm. And so, all of that kind of keeps me busy. But I've got my wife and I've been married almost 19 years now, and she's originally from Owensboro. That's what brought me here. And we met down at Murray State. She's a teacher, kindergarten teacher here in town. And we've got 4 kids ranging from our oldest will be 17 next week, and our youngest is 4 years old. So that also keeps us busy.
For sure.
But,
I have a 14 and a 5.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Yeah. So there's a lot of activity. But yeah, I've had the opportunity. I've been in Owensboro now for about 13 years. And in that time, similar to Will, like I've served on some boards and been able to be engaged in the nonprofit space. And, you really see the needs of nonprofits. And one thing that I've always been really impressed with Owensboro is, and just sort of this community, is how many nonprofits we have. We're such a giving community, and we're, as a community, we're sort of always looking for, well, where's a need and what can we do to fill it? And that was one of the things that I really loved about this with 10,000 Reasons, is to be able to help those organizations, because having been on those nonprofit boards and still serving on boards, it's sometimes a challenge. The funding is difficult. And so you're always looking for funding, and how do we, what's the next fundraiser, and what's the work we can do to get this, and how can we get the word out there? And so an organization like 10,000 Reasons, for us to be able to say, hey, here's an easy way. And in that nonprofit space, those that don't know, one of the big challenges too, what they would call unrestricted funds. And unrestricted funds means, it can pay a light bill, it can pay a rent. And so a lot of times when you receive money, it is earmarked. It has to go towards this service, or it has to go towards this program. And so operating income is really difficult for nonprofits. And so again, that was one of the things that I really loved about this, is that we're able to help a nonprofit just keep the doors open. And really continue to serve out their mission well. But so anyway, we're really excited about what this may do. Obviously, first meeting coming up, but we know that that's really going to be the foundation for what happens in the future, and we hope it goes on for years to come. For sure. Well, let's take a break right here, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about it. You're listening to the Forgiven Soldier Radio Show on 90.3 WKWC.
The Forgiven Soldier Radio Show. Christ offers forgiveness for everyone, everywhere.
All right, welcome back in. We're with Kyle and Will from 10,000 Reasons. So the first meeting, that's what we call it, right? First meeting, is February 20th. At 6.
Yes.
I need to know this because I need to be there.
We'll run from about 6 to 8.
And it's at Green River Distillery?
Yeah. Okay. So Green River Distillery is very generous to let us use their space, and we're going to have some free food there. They'll have a cash bar open there at Green River. And so, I've kind of struggled with this thing. We've talked about it a little bit before. Like, I almost hate to call it a meeting because I hate going to meetings.
Yeah,
you know, but like, this isn't. So like, I don't really have a better term for it, but
gathering.
Yeah, it is kind of our gathering, you know, because it'll be free food.
But then you sound like a cult.
Yeah, that's right. Right. So we're just gonna, you know, it's an opportunity to hang out.
We're gonna get together.
Yeah. And then the nonprofits will share a little bit about themselves, and we'll do a vote and give away some money. So it's going to be a good night.
Yeah, and so on the concept of it, it's just for guys, right?
Just for guys.
Just for guys, because there's some women that ask me like, "I'm gonna come out and support you." I'm like,
yeah. So there are other ways that women can be engaged in other things, and again, since this was sort of modeled from a couple of other organizations, it was sort of intentionally designed as a networking and connection opportunity for guys in the community, and a way for guys to be engaged in the nonprofit space.
Which I don't know how many listeners I have on here. I don't know the radio station.
Yeah.
I know there's about 10 on the podcast probably. But y'all chose a female nonprofit.
We did.
And then told her that you can't bring any of your friends.
Well,
female friends.
You know, they can bring husbands, spouses, friends. Yeah. So, you know, we don't discriminate by the nonprofits that are involved, but as far as the kind of the membership of the group, it's an all men's group.
And I'm a competitive guy.
Yeah.
I have been all my life, so I'm like, I really want to win this, right? Don't really know how to campaign for it because I don't want to go against it. The other two nonprofits, like they're so good. But I think y'all did us a favor about not allowing women because they're probably going to run away with it.
But you never know.
But you don't know.
We went the one I went to Evansville. I was for sure this one group was going to win, and you know, their story, and it was based upon the police station there. Is a chaplain that was doing a ministry, amazing ministry. All three of them were amazing ministries. I was like, man, there's no way nobody's going to vote against this. Well, and then it was so close. You know what I mean? It was maybe by 2 votes that they it was a shelter for kids under 5 because I didn't realize in Evansville there's no shelter for kids under 5 years old. You had to be, or they go into placement. I mean, it was insane. But so you never know. You never know if you're going to win.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm looking forward to it. I know I've been talking, and I have struggled on. I mean, how do we promote this? Like, I mean, we can promote it, but we have to bring the other two along too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we can't badmouth anybody.
Yeah. Well, they're good ones.
Yeah. The best way to promote it is just to give as many of your buddies and guys, friends that are help out with your nonprofit as possible to come and and vote. Unless they turn against you, and then that would be bad.
Do y'all have a number of like how many people have signed up? Do y'all know that before the event?
Yeah, so we have 120 right now signed up.
Oh wow!
But that doesn't mean all 120 going to show up.
Yeah.
Because I know a couple. We know 3 or 4 that say we can't be there, but we encourage people to sign up now because they get on the newsletter, I guess you would say, and the email for all 4 quarters for this year. And also, it's good for us too because if they do show up and you bring $100, we give that information back to the nonprofit who wins. That way, they can send them
thank you cards.
And
that's cool. So we, so like whoever wins, will know who voted for him.
Yeah. Well, you'll know everybody that was there.
Everybody was there.
Every person that was there. So
because you get everybody's money. Yeah.
So you reach out to all those people and be like, thank you for letting me win. This is what we're planning on doing, or however you want to handle that.
Yeah. Well, we going to Sizzler.
And that's right. That's right. And one of the other good things about being able to do that is one of the things that we're going to encourage the winner to do is, when you reach out and you thank those folks, ask them, hey, have you checked to see if your employer has a match? Because a lot of employers will do 100%, or some even do more. Where if you donated $100 and you can get a receipt that shows you gave $100 to this nonprofit, they will also give $100 to that nonprofit.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah, so so that's one of the things, and a lot of people don't know, even that their employers do that. Yeah. But we actually had one of the members reached out to me and said something about it, about like, hey, they basically require it impacts your bonus structure if you have not donated so much money a year, but they are matching your donations. And so they're like, they basically require us to donate. And they said, and then we can turn that in and they'll match that dollar. And so, there are a lot of companies, corporations that do that. And we thought that's a great thing, you walk away with $10,000 and you could have another $1,000 that comes in with company matches. But so we want them to be able to reach out and say thanks. So the sign up puts people on the mailing list, lets us keep them up to date, even if they can't make it. We've had a few people already. I think we've had 3 or 4 that have already said, I can't make it. Here's my $100. Make sure it goes. So, there's some that may not be able to make it. And we know there will also be people that.
So they just donate $100 to the winner.
Whoever's going to win. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we're kind of walking in already, with $300 or $400 that is going into the pot. But yeah, it's we know that there'll be some people that have signed up that aren't able to make it or just don't show up. We also figure there'll be people that end up bringing a friend that's not signed up, which is fine as well. You don't have to be signed up to walk in the door. But
is there a cap of how many people?
No. Not
until
the
fire
we
marshal
grow.
kicks us out.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
what's the the number at Green River?
I don't know. It's a whole lot bigger than.
Is it 250?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we outgrow that, we're going to get a bigger place.
Just
get
the fire marshal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Invite the fire marshal.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. You're
so
not allowed
the
in.
cool thing about we asked too, if the winner to come back to next quarter to talk about what they did with 10,000 or how that affected their nonprofit. And another thing too about when we came together, us 5 came together, we decided we do not want to be influential at all on any of the decisions at that night. So we have an outside group coming in to handle all the money and to total it all up, the votes, the whole nine. So we don't know until we write.
So you're
the
out there
check
with us waiting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So we don't want anybody to think that we have any kind of bearing on the decision at all. And we even talked about we're not even going to vote. We're going to give our $100.
Yep.
But we're not going to vote.
That's
so.
right.
Now, the first one was a little different just because you said there was never another gathering.
Right. Yeah.
Can we label it gathering?
Yeah. So this time, we'll label it. So,
this time's the only time that that you guys will pick a
we
nonprofit.
selected the nominations this time. Yeah. And then, but then after this, so what'll happen is everybody votes, you have a winner selected, and then people have an opportunity to nominate the next nonprofit.
Yes. You'll have a card, and then it'll have your name, your nonprofit, Beverly's Hearty Slice, and then My Sister's Keeper will be on the card. On the opposite side of that card, it'll be who do you would like to see for next quarter, and you write that down, and then whoever has the top votes, those 3 will be the next.
We'll get the next nominations.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, let's take another break. We'll come back and finish this thing out. You're listening to the Forgiven Soldier Radio Show on 90.3 WKWC.
The Forgiven Soldier Radio Show. Put your faith above everything, but have your family close. Online at forgivensoldier.com.
All right, welcome back in. We got Colin Will with 10,000 Reasons. So the first gathering, which is, we named it here on the show there.
It's officially a gathering now.
It's February 20th between 6 p.m. 8 p.m. Voting, you said, usually takes place about 7. You got some food out there. Who's catering it? Or is it just
so actually we got so Sam's has donated food, and then a guy named Benji DeWitt, who I work with, he's excellent on the smoker, and so he's agreed to, like, his contribution to the group is he's going to smoke like 8 Boston butts for us.
Oh, nice.
So he's taking care of all the food.
Like kings.
So we're doing like chips, potato salad, pulled pork. It's going to be a good night.
And queens, sorry, Angel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then you said a cash bar.
Yep, Green River will have a cash bar open.
You're going to have sweet tea there?
Sweet tea, lemonade,
okay,
water.
I'm a sweet tea guy.
Yeah.
So another thing we're doing too is we will have a giveaway that night. Typically, every quarter we'll have a giveaway for the person who comes, and then you'll have, if you bring a guest, you also get the guest gets into a raffle for a giveaway. So you get
this
2
time
chances.
Everybody's a guest.
So this time everybody's a guest. There's only one gift.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing for the first gift is Green River Distillery is giving us a basket full of goodies.
Oh, good.
On their new rye and some of their other things that they have there at the shop there. And that will be open. The gift shop will be open that night.
Yeah.
It might be too late, but you should also have, like, the nonprofits, like, donate something to put in.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, from all nonprofits, so they know or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We're Trend Center. I'll donate a shirt and a hat.
There you
That'd
go.
be cool. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll throw that in there too in the basket, and then so the next quarter we'll have 2 gifts that they can. A lot of times it's like $100 back, or somebody from the group will like in Evansville, they donated a Citizen's watch, a nice watch.
Yeah.
And the guy didn't want the watch, so they auctioned it off and raised $600.
Awesome.
And he gave all that money back to the nonprofit. So
that's amazing.
was fun.
yeah, so it's so cool. Like it's just a fun night, and there's one winner and 2 losers.
But
But
again, and it's not really.
Yeah.
It's not a win or
tough
lose
part.
thing at all, actually.
You're still yeah. And I think that was one of the things that actually even surprised me a little bit, Brian, is like, once we, because that was one of those things you're like, man, it's good for the person that wins, but what about those that don't? And then as I started recognizing, like, as we were doing a video and things, and you're realizing, like, man, this is great exposure. This is a great opportunity.
That's 120
to share
people
the message.
that had no clue about Beverly Hardy Slice or My Sister's Keeper.
And then you've got, and our social media reach is even greater than that. And, so you get a couple thousand people in the community that get to hear about the organization. And then you get, 100-ish people in the room that get to, meet face to face and one-on-one. That's, and again, as a nonprofit, where else do you get to do that where you don't have to pay to be a vendor or pay to, exhibit? And so, so there's a lot of value there.
Yeah,
and
to be honest, I didn't even know about you guys, and I think Drew Hardesty's one that brought you guys up, and then I kind of heard about Sister's Keeper a little bit, had no clue about Beverly's Hardy Slice. Yeah. Then once I saw the videos that Kyle did with each one of them, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't know.
How do you vote?
I've been here for 22 years and knowing this is going on.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts.
It's awesome.
I just when I read it, and this was before I even knew Veterans Empowered Together was nominated. I read it and I was like, man, I want to be a part of this, you know.
Yeah.
And then somebody, I think it was Drew, who texted me and said, hey, we nominated Vet. And I'm like, what? I'm like, who did that? And then he told me how y'all did it. And it's just an honor to be nominated. And I've talked to Travis before about Beverly Hardy Slice. I've talked to Angel before about, I've actually helped ground floor at My Sister's Keeper. My church was the one who gutted it out and put the floors and the walls up and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I've been a part of that project
That's cool.
from the start of it. And just seeing what they've done in the community and how many people have rallied behind them. And somebody mentioned, I think it was you, about how well the community is in giving. Like we just did St. Jude Radio. And we raised almost $15,000 in an hour.
That's crazy.
Just from people calling in. Right. And Chad is amazing at it. And I would invite him out to vote for us, but I don't think he will. I think he's going to vote for Angel.
Well, the cool thing about it is if Angel does win, or My Sister's Keeper does win, they cannot win again.
Yeah,
for 2 years. Was it 2 years?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
So, you have that in your back pocket where you'll get nominated again, I'm sure, with your nonprofit. So, but that's up to the collaborative group. So, we do put those stipulations in there so that way, not to see people are winning over and over again.
Yeah.
Because there are some nonprofits here in town that are so much bigger than the other smaller ones that are just trying to get started. So it's not really that fair. So we wanted it to be as transparent and give everybody a shot. So that's why we wanted to have all of these 120 or whoever showed up to the meeting the 20th, let them figure out who the next 3 are going to be.
For sure. So, and that's a great concept. Great concept. That way, because there's people there that might know a nonprofit that nobody knows about. It's like, 100%. Oh wait, y'all doing this here?
Yeah, 100%.
So, and that was as all of this got started and we started meeting and talking about getting all this stuff and again modeling it. One of the things the conversations that we had with the group in Evansville and kind of modeling it is the simplicity. Take away red tape. Take away bureaucracy.
Yeah, that's one thing you said. There's no red tape.
Yeah, just keep it as simple as it can possibly be. And really, I think once we get past this first meeting, we kind of have the machine starts to oil itself a little bit better. It really is. I mean, even as you look at what it is, and for a nonprofit, there's no grant process. There's not a lot of show up, give a presentation, and so we've tried to make it, and for the guys that are members, make it simple. Like you just, there's no application process, sign up on the mailing list, show up for the night. And so that's been a big part of it too, is just how do we keep it really simple and straightforward. And the way that I've continued to refer to it is we just want to be a conduit from the people to the nonprofit to be able to get their money there and to make a huge impact.
Absolutely.
For me to bring $100 for a night, but then to watch somebody walk away with $10,000, like there's a good feeling behind that.
That's a
you
great
did something
feeling.
well.
It's
And we're so simple. We don't even have a checking account. Like,
Yeah, we don't.
So,
we've all
you
just
need-
kind of thrown as
Yeah.
we've needed things. We'll all throw money in and take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we have one big huge check that's going to be.
That's right.
Cal
Got a big old
donated
check.
$125 to buy the big check so people can sign off. So
That's right.
You get your picture taken.
Get a
You don't get
picture.
taken home with you.
No,
What?
We got to
Picture made,
reuse
that's
it.
it.
Yeah, we got to reuse
You got to
it.
reuse it. It's dry erase board.
That's awesome.
So anyway, we try to keep it as simple as possible, like Cal said. Yeah. So.
Well, I'm excited for it, man, and I'm excited not just because of my nonprofit. I'm just excited in general. Like starting a nonprofit, if you've never done it, you don't know.
Yeah, so much.
So there's a lot of people like that, and I think the most knowledge we've got is from other nonprofits saying, "Hey, this is how we did it," you know,
great.
and that's
Yeah, that's
been a big hand. And so there's other nonprofits out there that will benefit from this, and
hope so.
I'm looking forward to it, man. Y'all got anything else?
Yeah, if you just go to our website, it's
10KOWB.com.
And if you can't come to the 20th, please go ahead and register.
Yeah.
And so that way you're on the list. So that way when you can come, the next one, we do have dates set. I don't have those memorized, but they will be on the website. So go ahead and register and invite some friends, come out and vote for vets and
You can leave it at that. You just leave it right there. We're going to edit that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Also,
Vote for everybody.
we've got a Facebook page, and that's one I always forget what it's called, but it's like 10,000 Reasons Owensboro or something like that.
Yeah.
But again, the Facebook page is another great way to just stay up to date. People can go follow that page, stay up to date. We've got some great videos of the nonprofits that were nominated this time, so you can learn a little more about them. You know, we're putting updates and information on about the event. So, if for whatever reason you're not comfortable going to a website and signing up, follow the Facebook page and pay attention to what's going on there. So.
And I'll post it on my Facebook page.
That'd be great.
All the information, when it is and all that stuff. So,
awesome. If you forget to go to the website and register, you can register that night.
Yeah, just show up.
Yeah.
Just
show up.
show
Bring
up. We're gonna
$100,
have
show
computers
up.
there. Bring $100. Look, you can bring $100 cash, or you can bring a check. Just don't write who it's to. So we've had a couple people that have written a check to 10,000 Reasons. We're like, no, we don't exist. We can't do anything with your money.
Yeah.
So just don't write who it's to. And then again, we've got a third party company coming, a third party group coming in to count all the votes and everything, and they will write in. At the end of the night, anybody that brought a check, they'll write in the winner. So,
So bring a blank check.
yeah,
Or
wait
cash.
for $100. Yeah,
cash.
bring your check for $100. Sign it. Just don't write who it's to. Or the simplest way is just bring $100 cash, and we'll put it in a money bag.
Yep.
So,
All right,
yeah,
perfect.
keep it simple.
Well, Kyle, Will, I appreciate you
Absolutely.
coming on the
Thank
show.
you.
And I appreciate you guys getting this thing started. And I'm looking forward to see where it goes.
Yeah, we are too.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Hey,
Appreciate
no
you.
problem. All right. God bless everyone.
18 in, 8 years out. Signed that line without a doubt. 9/11 deployed to Iraq. Army greens and an old rucksack. Didn't know if I'd make it back. Birds to the ground, running to the hole I went. Months of surviving the hell I lived. Spent nights talking with the boys. We just reminisce. Mortar rounds lighting up the night sky, reminding me of back home on the 4th of July. I wonder if they know I saw a different show under Friday night lights. Third deployment to Afghanistan. Different country, same old band. Gun at the ready, strapped up the boots. Me and the boys learned a thing or two. Every day feels more like deja vu. Boots to the ground, running to the hole I went. Months of surviving the hell I lived. Spent nights witness. Mortar rounds lighting up the night sky, reminding me of back home on the 4th of July. I wonder if they know I saw a different show under Friday night lights. Border rounds lighting up the night sky. I pray to God for one more day to survive. Now that I'm home, that flag means more than you know. Under Friday night lights.
You've been listening to My Dad on the Forgiven Soldier Radio Show. The Forgiven Soldier Radio Show is a broadcast service of Veterans Empowered Together and 90.3 WKWC.